Sony planning to release a competitor for the Nintendo Switch? Recently discovered patents seem to suggest so. So last week it was discovered that Sony filed for a patent for a device eerily similar to the Nintendo Switch in 2015. The device supposedly looks similar in style to the Nintendo Switch's Joy-Con in that it has two halves of a controller at either side of a screen. The device is definitely a cross between a tablet and a handheld console and will be the company's first handheld console release since the PS Vita in 2012, if it is indeed released. Now, if anyone can remember correctly, the PS Vita didn't sell all too well, selling an estimated 15 million units over the course of 4 years. So why would Sony want to release a new handheld console if the PS Vita didn't perform as expected? Is it even viable to release handheld consoles in a market where smartphones are capable of doing amazing things already? Let's start with determining whether the handheld console market still indeed exists. There is no denying that the handheld console market has come under some attack due to the growing capabilities of smartphones. The biggest selling point of a handheld console is its portability. The fact that you can whip it out in pretty much any short or long wait in a public space, such as a train ride to work or flight. Whereas once people would be keen to buy a Nintendo DS or PSP to kill some time during these periods, there is now a whole range of products that fulfill the same function, such as tablets, smartphones, and e-readers. The availability of new options to consumers within this market within recent years is very noticeable when taking a look at the overall lifetime sales of handheld consoles over the past few years. It is very plain to see that the most popular handheld consoles were all released sometime before the alleged smartphone boom, which many tech analysts state started with the release of the original iPhone in 2007. The Nintendo DS, the most popular handheld console of all time, was released in 2004 and sold an estimated 155 million units, whereas the Nintendo 3DS was released in 2011 and thus far has only sold an estimated 65 million units in almost the same time period. Although Sony's handheld consoles have never quite been as popular as that of Nintendo, the same sales drop can be witnessed when comparing the PSP, which was released in 2004 and sold an estimated 80 million units, and the PS Vita, whose estimated sales figures have already been mentioned. Quite simply, you are more likely to see a child pull out an iPad as opposed to a 3DS or Vita on a plane. But if the market is so saturated, why would some still choose to pursue it? Regardless of all of the previously mentioned facts, it would seem that there are still many gamers out there who would like to own handheld consoles, and the sales figures of the 3DS is proof of this. Despite being much lower than that of the original DS, the console can still be seen as extremely commercially successful, especially due to the amount of competition that it faced from non-traditional competitors. The 3DS is often credited as the device that kept Nintendo alive after the failure of the Wii U. So why would Sony want to make a new handheld console? It does seem odd that Sony would want to create a new handheld console after the Vita didn't perform as well as expected, as well as after the 2015 comments of the Sony Interactive Entertainment Worldwide Studios boss, Shuhei Yoshida, which suggested that a foray into the dedicated handheld console market would be dangerous due to the competition from smartphones. A large part of the Vita's disappointing performance was the poor marketing scheme of the console. There were very few worthwhile games for the console and thus very little incentive to buy it. Although the release of the PS4 brought about subtle attempts to revive the device with remote play and second screen functions, one doesn't really hear all that much about the device anymore. However, this does not mean that a new handheld console with the correct purchase incentives and overall marketing strategy will not be greeted warmly by gamers. Some have suggested that the design patents on this product suggest that the new prospective device may be a companion to the PS4, meaning that it may perhaps work in a similar manner to the Switch Joy-Con, in which players can play any major home console game on a handheld device anywhere they choose to be. A lot of people attribute the strong sales of the PS4 to the easy design of the console, as well as the wealth of exclusives on the console that one just cannot afford to miss. Imagine making your PS4 a portable device that allows you to play your games in a lower resolution anywhere you choose to go. Sony has already done a lot to attempt to provide the best gaming experience with the PS4, releasing PlayStation VR for the console last year. So it will be interesting to see if they do choose to explore this idea, regardless of whether this device will be an expansion for the PS4, the next home-based console, or quite simply a standalone handheld device. It is important to remember that not all patents turn into actual products, so gamers may never actually see this concept come into production. It will also be very interesting to see whether the success or failure of the Nintendo Switch impacts Sony's decision to release a new handheld console. If Sony released a new handheld console, would you buy it? Is it even possible to release handheld consoles in a market where smartphones are capable of doing amazing things? Please share in the comments down below, and if you like this video, please remember to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.